explanations about kidneys, how they work. And then I will share my unit test with you for excretion. You can practice with those questions too. That will be all, I think. So let me share the books pages first. Can you see it, like PETA concept?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this page, we just skip that. Wait. Oh, the first page is missing. Wait. Okay, anyway, the first page, I'll make a better document and share with you. The first page is about like introduction, understanding excretion, like making urine, sweat, those kind of things. And then maybe the first important thing is like here, right? Let me get the pen. Okay, I'm talking about this page here, right? We don't have it here. Here, there are three definitions. Excretion, this says system excreci. So there is excretion. This is one. Another one is secretion. And another one is defecation. Okay, these are here in this paragraph. Maybe you will get a question about the differences or the meanings of these. Okay, this one is, can I write here? Yeah, I can write here. Removing metabolic waste. Okay, removing metabolic waste. Can you see what I write here?
Yes.
You can. Okay. Metabolic waste is like waste of our cells. Okay, our cells produce it. That is metabolic waste. Like carbon dioxide, like urea. These two, the most popular ones. Okay. And then in excretion, this metabolic waste is going outside, out of the body. This is useless. Okay, useless material. In secretion, again, our cells make and remove useful chemicals usually. Okay, these are like for example, enzymes, hormones, these kind of things. We secrete and then use. Excretion is like going out, like garbage. Defecation is different category, not secretion, not excretion. Defecation is removing materials, okay, removing undigested or indigestible material. Like we eat something, that thing is passing through our digestive system and then going out. So this material never enters our cells, never been to our cells, just passing through. So in the material in defecation, this is not produced by our cells, it's just passing. But these two, in these two, the material is coming from our cells produce it. So you can look at this part, I think like this here, somewhere here. This may be important. Can I go down? Wait. Okay, this way it's. So this is the first one, second one here. 328. Yeah. Okay. And a little bit up here. So like this is still talking about defecation, the first part, process, removing of food which is not digested or which is indigestible, that one. So you can look at that on your own maybe. Then let me clear these. Now another point which may be a question, I think, is this first part of human excretory system, this one here. Okay, one possible question is this. Look, human excretory system has 4 organs: kidneys, liver, lungs, and skin. So it can be a question like, which of the following is not one of the human excretory organs? Okay, then not these, but one more. So you can remember these names. All of these do something to remove metabolic waste from the body. Then the book teaches them one by one, starting with kidney. Second is liver. So you just need to know until liver, not liver, until liver. Here there are 4 functions. Let me zoom a little bit. Okay, 4 functions of the excretory system. Okay, our body is always producing something, right? Our cells are always producing materials. So this one is like removing the excess, removing the excess. Okay, like for example, our cells always produce CO2, and then they give CO2 into blood, and then blood transports CO2 to lungs, and then lungs remove it. So we don't let CO2 to accumulate. Or our liver cells especially, they produce urea, and then excretory system does not let urea to accumulate. If it accumulates, it's toxic. Then we die in like a week time if we don't remove urea. So this is first, removing the metabolic waste. Second, removing the toxic materials. This can be like these two. These are also toxic, waste and toxic. So these are like for both categories. And it can also be like you may take some medicine or drug or some other things. They are kind of toxic. So excretory system also removes them. Okay, third one, maintaining homeostasis. Like this is like excretory system kind of controls how much water we have, like blood concentration, how much salt we have. It helps in controlling this. We are going to see kidneys helping controlling pH, blood pH. So this system is helping for homeostasis. Homeostasis is a very general thing. Let me write it here. Homeo means like same. Status is like status. Same status. Keeping status same, like keeping pH same, keeping salt concentration same, keeping water amount same, keeping temperature same. This is all of them together, homeostasis. And last one, helps in maintaining body temperature. Maybe we are going to see this for skin. This is for skin by sweating. So after this introduction, okay, in a big definition, excretion can be like this. If you combine these functions, not the last one is kind of different, I think. Excretion is removal of metabolic waste, toxic substances, and substances in excess of requirements. 3 things from the body. Okay, like I combined the first 3. First one, metabolic waste. Second, toxic materials. Third one, homeostasis. Like if you have excess water, too much water, removing that water. If you have excess sodium, removing that sodium. Excess means more than you need, more than your body needs. Okay, that's the job of, this is mostly the job of kidneys, but the others also do, others also help. Okay, I'll make this smaller again, if I can. Then we look at kidneys here. There is an introduction about the size, color, position of the kidney. We have 2 kidneys, not very big. You can read this part. And then functions of kidney. And you may get questions about this one too, like which one is not one of the functions of kidneys. That was in my unit test, I think. I asked that. Let's see what we have here. Like we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 functions. Some of them like major functions, important. Like the first one, removing, right? These are removing, filtering the blood, and then, okay, I'll make my own list. The first one looks like removing metabolic waste, like urea, uric acid, keratin, ammonia. Then second, toxic materials like medicines, drugs, pollution, maybe, food additives. Third one, regulating the mineral concentration, regulating salt concentration. Okay, it checks how much calcium, let's say, you have, how much you need. If you have more than you need, kidneys remove that, put it in urine, and then it goes out. Okay, then this one is about pH. Kidneys help in regulation of blood pH. Okay, I think these will be enough. The others are like too much detail. It also says activates vitamin D in the next page. Okay, I'll just continue reading like this. There are 3 more here. It is filtering the blood and then removing glucose and then taking glucose back. We are going to see that. It's producing this hormone erythropoietin. It has a role in red blood cell production, but these are not about excretion. Okay, but make sure you just read them once. If you get a question like which one is not one of these, then you can use that information. Then there is information about the structure of the kidney, and the book goes into detail. Unfortunately, there is more than I normally teach. Like these, I don't teach. I'll make sure you read once. I teach this much. Okay, what about the next page? Here, okay, let's say for a kidney, organ like this, bean shape, or bean shaped organ like this. It has 3 connections, 2 blood vessels. So this is one of the blood vessels, another blood vessel, and then one more tube. This is not blood vessel. This is blood vessel bringing blood to the kidney. Okay, this blood vessel, let's say here, brings blood to the kidney. We call this renal artery. Okay, it brings oxygenated blood with a lot of waste, a lot of urea into the kidneys to be filtered. Then another blood vessel takes blood away from the kidney. This one is called renal. Again, renal is like about kidney. renal vein. Renal vein has deoxygenated blood because oxygen is used by the kidney cells. And this one is clean, kind of. There is little urea in this. Okay. In our bodies, renal artery has the most or like highest concentration of urea, and this one has the lowest concentration of urea because this is the place to remove urea. And then this tube, this is called ureter, and it takes urine. Urine is produced in the kidney. It takes urine to urinary bladder. We are going to see that. Okay, so 3 connections, 2 blood vessels, 1 ureter. Renal artery is branching from aorta. There is a bigger blood vessel here, aorta, right? And renal artery goes to which blood vessel? Which goes to heart, vena cava. Okay, from if you are in the kidney, if you want to go to heart, renal vein, vena cava to right atrium. Okay, and here there are more details. Why do they do that? I don't know. Too much for your level, but I won't ask, but other teachers may ask. I don't know. So be prepared. Again, now we'll look at inside. Okay, we look at inside the kidney, like in this diagram. Let's see how it is. Oh, there is a nicer looking diagram here. Wait. You see the diagram, right? Look, ureter, urine here, urine goes out, and then 2 blood vessels. Oh, which one is which? Renal artery. I can't see it here. Okay, let's look at the internal structure. There are 3 layers. Okay, I'll make a simpler one here. Okay, this is ureter again, 2 blood vessels. Okay, we divide the inside into 3 parts. The outer part is called cortex. And then the middle part here is called medulla. And then the most inside here is called pelvis. Okay, cortex outside, medulla middle, pelvis the most inside, like pelvis is here. In the pelvis, urine is collected and then it goes into ureter. In the medulla, there are these things. Look, these. Because of their shape, these are called pyramids. So in the medulla, there are pyramids. Okay, so the structure is simply like this. And in this structure, inside this, there are like around 1 million filtering units. There are like 1 million tiny structures filtering blood all together and then making urine. These are called nephron. Okay, they are inside here. Is there a diagram? Yeah, there is. Okay, let's move to next page to see the position of nephron. Here. Okay, let's look at this part. Maybe a little bit more zoom in. Okay, here we see a kidney. This is one kidney. We are zooming here, and then there is this. This is a nephron. Okay, if this is your kidney, a big one again, like medulla and cortex border, outside cortex, inside medulla and pelvis here. So nephron is like starting here and then goes down, comes back like this. So a little bit in the cortex, a little bit in the medulla. And then finally, one tiny tube goes to pelvis to give urine here. Urine collects here. Okay, and then this is the detailed structure of a nephron. We need to know these names. There are many exam questions, UN questions about this structure. I'll show you some examples. Okay, let's see what we have. This is showing the structure of a nephron. Like this one is a good diagram. I think this one is good. This one is also okay. Like spend some time, look at this, know the names, like glomerulus, Bowman capsule, proximal tube, loop of Henle, distal tube. You need to know all of this. And this is showing the position of nephron, like in cortex, in medulla, and then here is pelvis, the bottom. This is also a good one. Okay, still the structure. Let's go one more. It's given details like medulla, pelvis. You can just read once. I don't think you need to know every detail again. This is the summary table of like which part is doing what. Okay, I'll show you slides, so I'm just skipping these. We are going to see these. Then, okay, one important thing is structure of a nephron for exams. Nephron is really important. And then how urine is made, mechanism of making urine. And there are 3 steps for that. Filtration, reabsorption, and secretion. Okay, this is also in the slide, so I'll just skip. Okay, these are like the reasons why filtration happens, how it happens. And then after filtration, we have the primary urine, and then reabsorption in the tubes. Oh, the missing page is here. Okay, that missing page, second page is here. This is a little bit detailed, but it's good if you can understand. I haven't seen any question about this much detail. Okay, this is showing reabsorption of things like glucose, how much reabsorbed, urea, what happens to urea, like that. And the last step is secretion in the distal tubes. Then urine goes to urinary bladder, this one. Then this one most likely will be there in the exam. Factors affecting formation of urine. This ADH hormone is important, and aldosterone hormone. It should also be somewhere here, aldosterone. And also do external things like temperature of the environment, how much water you drink, or other things like alcohol if you drink, they affect the urine formation. And then characteristic of urine, like the color, volume, smell, like that. They're all here. What is in it? This is the last thing. And then there is a practical work here. Okay, you are responsible for this much. Okay, so I'll close this and open my slide to go over one more, one few important things. Stop and share. Okay, can you see the slides? Oops, sorry. Now, can you see? 3 animals. Okay, fine. Here, this one is about like, okay, for humans, the main nitrogenous toxic waste is urea. We have this mostly. We have very small amount of uric acid and very small amount of ammonia. But other animals may have different ones. Like the animals living in fresh water, they have ammonia because ammonia is easy to make. But the problem is this is the most toxic. For our body, let's say, this is very toxic. We cannot hold it. But for them, it's okay. They have a lot of water. They can make it dilute and remove it. And some animals, like birds, insects, they may need to keep water, so they choose this one. This is difficult to make, but it saves water. Okay, so like this is the least toxic. Difficult to make. Ammonia, easy to make. Most toxic, you need large amount of water to remove that. But urea is in the middle, medium toxic, medium water, medium energy to make it. How do we make it? Let's, okay, you'll see it in the liver part, but let's say we eat proteins, like here, proteins, we digest them, we make them amino acids. Then in the liver, we change amino acids, and then at the end we produce ammonia. Okay, that is called deamination. In the liver, excess amino acids we don't need, they become ammonia. And then ammonia is very toxic for us. We change it, we make it urea. Okay, then, so we make urea in the liver, urea. Then we send the urea to kidneys in the blood. Then we put it in urine and then remove it. So liver makes urea, kidneys make urine with urea. Okay, urea is inside the urine. Urine is that liquid. Okay, several organs in excretion. These are the ones directly removing, like kidneys remove urine with urea water salts in a healthy person. Skin removes sweat, which contains water, mostly like 96%, 99% maybe, and some salts and some urea. Lungs, when we breathe out, remove CO2 and water vapor. What about liver? Liver should be here. Liver, maybe making bile salts. And then excretory substance remove this bile salts, bile pigment, sorry. Okay, so like this, 4 organs. Role of liver, we skip this. Okay, this is our urinary system. In easy questions, this is asked, in easy questions only, like which is which. We have 2 kidneys, we have 2 ureters connecting kidneys to urinary bladder. And then we have the urethra going out. Okay, this one is stored in the urine for some time. Okay, these are the 3 main functions of the excretory system and the kidneys also. Removing toxic materials, regulating fluid and salt concentrations, regulating pH. Then the kidneys. Okay, aorta, vena cava, renal vein, renal artery. This is inside. Cortex, medulla pelvis. Cortex, medulla pelvis again. This hat-like thing is a gland to make hormones, adrenal gland. It has nothing to do with filtrina. It's like a different organ. Then this is our nephron. Again, you need to know the names, important, and what happens in each part. For this, okay, let's go over this one. But let's see the positions first. Like these yellow things, like I'm starting from the bottom. This is the collecting duct. Coming back, coming up, and then here it enters 1 nephron. I'm going backwards, actually. Distal tube, loop of Henle coming down, going up, proximal tube, and then Bowman's capsule. Here. Okay, the design is actually same, but this is like a little bit more complicated, looks more complicated. This is simplified. Okay, let's see what happens here. This is the blood part. Red one is blood. Oh, wait. same. Okay, red is blood. Let's say blood is coming like this. Then this one here is called afferent arterial. And blood is going like this. This is called efferent arterial. A comes before E, right? I was remembering like that. This afferent arterial is larger, efferent is narrower. As a result, look, there is a big pipe. There is a large pipe bringing water into a container, and then exit is small, narrower. Liquid is coming, liquid is going. After some time, there will be high pressure here, right? Because more is coming, less is going. Okay, because of this pressure, filtration happens. What is filtration? Small components of blood, everything small, goes out, like water, urea, sugar, glucose, amino acids, everything small, useful or harmful, everything. This is the first step. Everything goes out. What cannot go out? Like these can go out. What cannot go out? The large things like blood cells. They are too big. Or plasma proteins, like albumin, like blood clotting proteins, those ones. Now we have the filtrate here. After filtration, we have a liquid, and in that liquid we have these. This is called the primary urine, our first urine. But this is not the real urine yet, not yet real, because there are useful things in it, like there is glucose, amino acids, a lot of water. Okay, then this is the Bowman's capsule collecting. Then from here until here, until here, we have the first coiled tube called proximal tubule, sometimes called proximal convoluted tubule. And this one does reabsorption. Okay, now this one starts reabsorbing useful things back. Our primary urine is moving. As it is moving, useful things are taken back, like nutrients, 100% of glucose and amino acids are reabsorbed here. Okay, most of the salts, most of the water, they are taken back. When we come here at this point, we have secondary urine. Okay, second urine. In the second urine, there is no glucose, there is no amino acid. Others are still there. Then we go through the loop of Henle. Loop. Here, water is reabsorbed, salts are reabsorbed. Okay. Then at this point, we come to distal tube, number 4. Distal tube continues to reabsorb salts and water, but it does something called secretion. What is secretion? Secretion is putting these back into urine again, depending on body needs. If your body needs to put them there, this one puts them there. This is mostly for, secretion is mostly for pH regulation. Okay, there are questions, many questions asking secretion happens where? Okay, another name for secretion is augmentation. Okay, in the distal tube only. Then after secretion here, now we can say we have the real or final urine. Okay, final urine. Where? In the collecting duct. Then in the collecting duct, urine goes down to pelvis. There is pelvis here. As the urine is going, we can still reabsorb some water. Okay, don't look at this, these are confusing. We can still reabsorb some water if we need. Okay, so you need to know filtration happens in the glomerulus, from glomerulus to Bowman capsule, and makes the primary urine. A lot of reabsorption happens in the proximal tube and makes the secondary urine. And then in the rest, we just reabsorb water and salts until pelvis. And here, only in the distal tube, some things go in the opposite direction, from blood into distal tube. This is called secretion or augmentation. This diagram is like showing the locations of those three processes: filtration first, reabsorption, and then secretion. Secretion only here, the orange one only. But reabsorption mostly here, but also continues like in these tubes. Okay. What else? Like this is also a summary of the process. You may read if you want later. Filtration, reabsorption, secretion. This is describing filtration. Because of high blood pressure, everything small goes out. Here criteria is size, not like useful or not useful, everything. Then reabsorption spends energy. Okay, because of this reabsorption, we have so many mitochondria in the kidney cells. So they make ATP, they do a lot of active transport to take everything back. This one again. Secretion is mostly for pH regulation. Then what happens when we have the urine? Urine goes from kidneys to ureter, then to urinary bladder, stored here a little bit, then urethra, and then into toilet. Okay, urine goes like that. If you are a healthy person, in your urine, there should be only three things: water, salts, and urea in a healthy person. Okay, these are quiz questions. You can check them, easy ones. Then this also, and this one too. I'll share the slide. You can see the questions if you want later. These are characteristics of urine. It's better to read the book for this. Okay, in the book there is sifat urine, characteristic urine. Another summary. Look, A is filtration from blood to Bowman capsule. B is reabsorption, useful things going back into blood. C is secretion. Some ions are moving from blood into distal tube, opposite direction. Okay, this is also the same summary. Again, in some questions they ask this. Here not clear, but this afferent arteriole is wider. Efferent is narrower. Okay, because of this, there is high pressure here. This diagram is also in the book. You don't need to know every detail, I think. Like some names I removed. The book has all of them. These are some exam questions. But there is more like this in the slides. Like it's asking in part Y, what is happening and which urine is produced as a result. First, we should understand what is part Y. Part Y is like this one. This is the proximal tube. Proximal tube. In the proximal tube, reabsorption happens and secondary urine is produced. Filtration makes the primary urine. So like here, let's say we put X here, okay, glomerulus. Then for X, A is correct. For Y, D is correct. And then we can put here, distal tube. Here we can put Z. In the distal tube, what happens? Augmentation, another name for secretion. Secretion happens and the final urine is produced. So this is for Z. Let me write here, distal tube. This is proximal tube. And the first one, glomerulus. Okay, and this is not matching. This is not matching. This is comparing blood and then the filtrate in the kidney tubule and then final urine. So here this one is primary urine. This is final urine. Like urea is in all of them. Glucose is in the blood. In the filtration, glucose goes out, but then we take glucose back. If you are a healthy person, your urine should not have any glucose. Amino acids, same story. Salts, in the blood we have. In the filtration, they go out, and we take most of them back. So this plus is a big plus, maybe. This one is a small plus. If you have like 100 salts, you take 90 of them back, maybe. And then you just leave 10 for the urine. Proteins, like plasma proteins or blood cells, they are in the blood, but they are not in the filtrate. They are not in the primary urine because these two are large. They cannot be filtered. Okay, if you are a healthy person, they cannot be filtered. This is an easy question again. This one you don't need. Do you need? Yeah, you need. Okay. Okay, we have this balance. This picture is simple and good. Like we have water intake and then we have water exit. Water entering the body, going out. This is in balance. If not in balance, most likely we are dehydrated. Like most of the water comes in with drinking. And then some water comes with the food. The food we eat contains some water. And some water is made in our cells. In this reaction, let's say glucose plus oxygen becomes carbon dioxide plus water plus energy. This water is metabolic water. And water goes out mostly in the urine, average. When we breathe, water vapor goes out. When we sweat from the skin, and also in the feces. There are changes, like if environment is very hot, let's say, then this box becomes bigger because we sweat more, right? If you don't drink more, then urine becomes smaller to balance it. So, and urine is controlled by kidney. So kidney is doing that regulation. Or maybe you have diarrhea, then this box becomes bigger. This becomes bigger, then urine should be smaller again. Maybe you have noticed when you have diarrhea, your urine usually decreases. Okay, different animals have different numbers here, but for human, like this. These two hormones are important. Okay, ADH, there are a few things you need to know about ADH, but this is the main one. If blood becomes more concentrated, okay, if something happens and then your blood is more concentrated, maybe you are running, sweating, water going out, then ADH is secreted by pituitary gland. This is part of the brain, Okay, in the next chapter, you are going to see pituitary gland. What does it do? ADH increases the reabsorption of water in the collecting ducts. So it's like telling collecting ducts to reabsorb more water. As a result, urine becomes smaller in volume and more concentrated. Okay, so keeps water inside the body. How does it work? Let's see with the diagram. Like there is the stimulus, increase in blood osmolarity. This is blood concentration. Then information goes to brain, hypothalamus, then pituitary gland makes ADH. ADH goes to collecting duct mostly, and also distal tube a little bit. Then we reabsorb more water. Okay. At the same time, this also happens. Hypothalamus is the center of thirst and hunger. When information goes there, we feel thirsty, and then we drink more water, then problem is solved again. Another hormone is aldosterone. Okay, let's make a table. ADH, aldosterone, aldo. Let's call it aldo. Okay, when, from where, target, effect, result, maybe. Okay, ADH is when blood is more concentrated. From where? Pituitary gland. Target is mostly collecting duct. Result is more reabsorption of water. Okay, and for aldosterone, let's read, secreted by adrenal gland, another gland, on top of the kidneys, when blood pressure decreases. Pressure or also volume, blood volume, these are like same thing, decreases. Because if your blood volume decreases, your blood pressure decreases. How does it happen? Maybe again, when you sweat a lot, it happens. Or maybe you are bleeding, it happens. Target is, let's see, aldosterone increases the reabsorption of sodium ions followed by water in the distal convoluted tubule and collecting duct. Let's see. Mostly distal tubule for this one. So main one, number one is distal tubule. Target is distal tubule. What happens? More sodium and water reabsorbed. Okay, something like this will help you to remember everything about these two hormones, I think. Here, again, blood volume is decreasing. Information goes to some hormones, some detail. As a result, adrenal gland here produces aldosterone. As a result, more sodium and water are reabsorbed in the distal tubules, increasing blood volume. Then we have happy end, homeostasis. Homeostasis is a good thing. Things are in balance, you are happy. Some more questions, like the main idea is, if you sweat more, if you are not drinking extra water, you make less urine. Okay. Let's look at the second one. It's a little bit different. Okay, the table shows composition of urine of 4 people A, B, C, D. Which person is most likely to have been eating a lot of protein on a hot, dry day? If you eat a lot of protein, you'll get a lot of amino acids. Some of them will be extra. Then you will make more urea. Okay, more urea in urine. So urea content of the urine will be high. And second thing, water content of urine. How much water in the urine? This is a hot, dry day. So So sweat a lot, right? If you are sweating a lot, then your urine will have less water. So we think like that. But these are easy questions, again, just logic. Aldosterone hormone regulates the concentration of, we should be looking for sodium here, sodium. Potassium is detail, maybe, sodium. Which of the following does not pass through the glomerulus to Bowman capsule during filtration? Small things can pass, large cannot. Blood cells cannot. In which part of the nephron secretion is mainly carried out? Distal, right? B. Okay, I'm reading Shauki's lips, and then he says B. Sorry. Then urine formed in the kidneys does not pass through urine. Okay, we make urine in the kidneys. Wait. Okay, this is not a good question. Okay, glomerulus capillaries, if you are healthy, capillaries have blood only. Right? There is no urine there. But after this, after these capillaries, we have the primary urine, secondary urine, final urine. They go through nephron tubules. These are proximal, loop of Henle, distal, collecting duct. These are nephron tubules. Okay, nephron tubules. Pyramid tubules, yeah, urine goes through them. And ureter also. But this one, if you are healthy, no. Which organs control pH? Kidney by doing secretion, lungs by removing CO2 because of CO2, because of secretion here. CO2 is acidic. So by removing CO2, lungs keep blood pH high, kind of. This is asking the definition, removing metabolic waste from the body. Which of the following is the major nitrogenous waste of human? It is urea. Yeah, okay. In the book also there are questions like this. To prepare for weekly, you can check the end of chapter questions. I think some of them are good, can be asked in the weekly, I think. So like, which one is correct here? Oh, this question doesn't have a good answer, but the best answer is this. Collected in the renal pelvis, then transported to urethra. Not a good, but only this one is correct in order. Better one could be like this. Renal pelvis, transported to urinary bladder by logically this is better. Okay. This one you should know. What does antidiuretic hormone do? A, okay. Vishnu says A, I think, because I see few of you. Then I cannot get your answers, only few. Diseases, not yet, not for this exam. They are coming later. But there are like famous diseases like albuminuria, like albumin in urea. Nephritis is infection of nephrons, like glomerulus and other tubes by bacteria, streptococcus mostly. Kidney stones, because of deposition of some minerals in the kidneys. Diabetes mellitus, having glucose in the urine because of the insulin. Most of the time problem is about insulin. Maybe you will see later about this. In diabetes insipidus, producing large amount of urine, like 5 liters a day. because you don't have enough ADH. Right? Then you have to drink a lot. You go to toilet every hour maybe to remove urine. Diabetes insipidus, like this. Then there are questions here. Most of them are about kidney, nephrons. Like the X here is glomerulus or Bowman's capsule. Glomerulus, okay. This part is glomerulus. There is blood here. These are blood capillaries, many blood capillaries together. Bowman capsule is like a cup, Okay, if this is glomerulus, this is Bowman's cup. It's like inside there, collecting the filtered material. So this is about glomerulus. Tubulus, collecting duct. No, not that. Loop of Henle, nope. Capsule Bowman, okay. And the function is filtration. This is proximal tube, and from here maybe loop of Henle. Until here, loop of Henle goes down and then comes back. Distal tube, and then collecting duct. Collecting duct can be connected to many nephrons. There can be another one here, another one here. So it can get urine from many different parts. Okay, this question is very popular, this type. But for this, you need to know the diseases. Let's see some of them. They are doing urine test, and then they found that there is glucose in the urine. Okay, then problem is where? Which part is not working properly? Now for glucose, it should be filtered, normal, but then it should be taken back. Which part takes glucose back? Which part is responsible for taking glucose back? Proximal tube. Okay, proximal tube has to reabsorb glucose. If it is not doing that, so we can say the guilty one is proximal tube. If you put here, amino acid, answer is same. Glucose and amino acid, answer is this. Okay, here, sometimes they combine it with food tests. So you need to remember food tests too. Here, they do urine test with Benedict, sugar, glucose, right? Producing red color. Red means positive. There is sugar, there is glucose. Now, which part is not working well? Again, proximal tube. Here, proximal tube is like this part. That is why. Let's see why. Because it cannot do the reabsorption of glucose. Looks okay. I don't reabsorb. It doesn't do the reabsorption of carbohydrate. Okay, this is like better, more specific. Glucose is also carbohydrate, but C is more specific. Okay. Again, Benedict. Wait, not Benedict. Maybe different. They do food tests with burette. Now, burette is for protein, right? Burette is for protein. And then the color is ungu. Ungu is purple. Purple means plus, I mean positive. So there is protein, not amino acid. Okay, protein. If there is protein, normally there should be no protein because protein is a large molecule. It means filtration is problem. Normally filtration should not let protein to go, but protein is there. So it means filtration is problem. Filtration happens in number 1, glomerulus. So if you see protein in the urine, it means problem is in glomerulus. Okay, always. With burette, Benedict, burette. Yeah, same. There is protein. What is the disease this time? Okay, you'll read about them. If there is protein, it is this one, like albumin in urine. This is also called proteinuria. Proteinuria, something like this. Protein in the urine or albumin in the urine. Diabetes mellitus, glucose in the urine. Diabetes insipidus, not enough ADH. Nephritis, bacterial infection. Urinaria is urine in blood. Wait, urinary, what's urine? Yeah, I think like that. Also called uremia. If I'm not mistaken, urine in blood. This also means there is an infection, so things are not going well. Urine is going back to blood. But there are no many questions about this, mostly about these four. Amino acids in the urine, so reabsorption is not good. Proximal tube. Protein albumin in the urine, meaning filtration is not good. Glomerulus. Wait, there is protein, right? Yeah, there is protein. So which part?
1.
Glomerulus, right? Number 1. Okay, good. Glomerulus. Oh, sorry. So these are from the same year, I think. So they are asking the same thing, like alternative questions. Okay, this is a different year. There is protein again. So the same thing. Not Bowman's capsule, glomerulus. Bowman capsule is not doing anything. It's just collecting. So answer cannot be Bowman capsule, never. Okay, this is different. Okay, let's study this a little bit. Which are the characteristics of nephritis? Urine goes back to blood. There is bochor in the nephron. This happens if there is bacterial infection. It may happen if the walls are damaged, possible. It's caused by streptococcus. This is okay. This is okay. Hypophyse gland. Hypophyse. This is like pituitary gland. Fail to produce antidiuretic hormone, ADH. This is for diabetes insipidus. Glomerulus is broken or nephron. So something is broken in the nephron, can be glomerulus, can be other parts, possible, because of bacteria again. There is albumin or other proteins in the urine. This is albuminuria or proteinuria, not nephritis. Not this, not this. What's that? The blood vessels in the kidney are, no, not about that maybe. So let's see which ones we have. 1, 2, 4. So you just pick 2 of them. 2, 4. 3 is not. 3 is not. 5 different. 5 different there. 5 different. 4 and 6. 6 looks different. So nephritis is popular. Again, nephritis question. Same like we have done, so I'm not doing again. Somebody has albuminuria because A, right? Filtration part is broken. Nephritis is caused by streptococcus. Okay, this one I showed you before. This is a different version. Like you need to know what is happening where, which part is doing what. There is a similar one in the unit test. You can try that maybe. Okay. This is the one I showed you. Okay, look, there are many alternatives of the same question. Okay, that's all. Like that, and in my slides there is the two options. If your kidneys fail, you can do these two: dialysis or kidney transplantation. And then advantages and disadvantages of the two solutions: advantages of transplant, and then difficulties of transplant. But this is not important, I think, for the weekly. For the weekly, again, I think you should focus on the book from the beginning until heart. No, not heart. Until liver, introduction, and then kidney. Okay, and then check the questions also. Questions at the end. If I can make a good document, I'll share the chapter with your friend, and then your friend can share with you. If you don't have the book, if you have the book, you don't need that. That's all. Anything else? Fine, enough. Okay, then I'll just share the link for my unit test. We did it today with 11A. Maybe you can try that too. Okay, that's all. Thank you very much. I also revised with you. That's good for me too. Okay, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good luck in the exam.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you.
Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.